Hey, hey, hey.
Cast down, but not destroyed. There are times I don't understand, but I believe it's turning around for me. I've had struggle and disappointment. There are times I felt so alone. Some of my friends, they let me down, but I still believe it's turning around for me. Around for me. Around for me. Around for me. It's turning around for me.
It's turning around for you.
You just say it into the atmosphere. Around for me.
Around for me.
It's turning
It's turning
around.
around for me. I just wanted to start with some worship music.
I can see the breaking of day. God is making a way. Change is coming for me. If I stand strong and believe, there's no reason to doubt. I know He's working it out. And it's turning around. It's turning around for me.
It's turning around for you too. Whatever it looks like, whatever it feels like, it won't always be like this. Do you believe? Are you going to press into Him when you want to give up, when it feels weak, when you don't feel strong anymore?
Or later, it'll turn in your favor.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't know who needs to hear this song, but it's turning around for you. Yes.
It won't always be like this.
No matter what you're going through, so many marriages are under destruction right now. So many children are going wayward right now. We're losing people left and right. But it's not always going to be like this. I just wanted to come and drop that reminder off tonight. I'm living witness. Come on. He has turned some things around in my favor. And guess what? I know He can turn it in your favor too. Will you believe? Will you stand flat-footed knowing that God's got you? Knowing that this is not the end. Knowing that there's a new thing coming. Knowing that this is just the beginning. It's just a part of the process to prepare you for the things that He's already promised you. Are you going to claim it? Are you going to believe it? You can't receive what you don't believe. Claim it. I just needed to play a little bit of this because I'm just so stirred up and reminded that there are things shifting in the spiritual, shifting in the physical, shifting in the emotional, shifting in the mental. The question is, are we going to stand flat-footed and believe for the things that are yet to come, or are we going to give up too soon? It's turning around for me. Are you claiming that today? Are you claiming your victory today? The victory is yours. The promises are yes and amen. Are you taking hold of those promises right now, today, and say that it doesn't matter what it feels like or looks like, it's turning around right now? It's turning around for me. Can you see your future? I was telling somebody a little while ago, I remember several years ago, I was physically in one space, visualizing myself in a totally different place. It has now turned around. The place where I saw myself years ago has now manifested. What are you going to believe for? What are you going to stand in agreement with? If God said it, I believe it. Do you believe it? I just wanted to start off with that song because I think a lot of times we get right into the whatever word we're delivering, we get right into the message and we don't really take a moment to just reflect on where we are and the goodness of where we are. We're not always in a place where we want to be, but if we just stand firm, knowing that this is just a temporary place, that this is just a temporary season, then some things can shift in our lives. We have the power to speak some things into existence. We have the power to manifest some things, but it becomes with the ability to visualize a thing, begin to speak a thing, and then begin to call authority to those things. When we do that, we can manifest the things that we want to see shifted in our lives. No longer do we have to see marriages under water. No longer do we have to deal with this funny money business. No longer do we have to suffer in the workplace. No longer do we have to have these wayward children. We have the power to change some things and to rest knowing that some things are turning around for us. I am Marquita Green, and I am so excited that you have logged in to join me, whether you are watching live or watching a replay. I'm super excited to be here with you for the Inside Scoop with Marquita Green Motivates. I am here to help women, specifically women who are wives and or mothers. You don't have to be both, but wives and or mothers, to reconnect with your purpose, to unapologetically reconnect with your purpose, to be all that you were called and created to be. I remember a time when I am still a wife and mother, but there was a specific season of my life, talking about some things in the past. There was a specific season when I felt like there had to be more, where I just remember crying to God and saying, is this it? Is this all that you have for me? I saw more. I could literally visualize more in my life. I could feel more on the inside of me, but it wasn't manifesting in the presence in that season. But I just kept being consistent. I kept showing up for myself, and some things began to change. Some doors began to open and some things began to shift. And that is why I want to help to encourage and empower other women to find that place in their own lives. I am a living witness that if we do the work that it takes to manifest the things that we desire, to manifest the things that we dream of, the visions that we have, we don't have to table it. We don't have to put it on a back burner. We don't have to abandon it. How many women have abandoned your dreams, your visions, your goals, because you thought there is no way that I can compete my own goals while I'm raising a family? Well, what happens when those babies get older and they're gone? Not that it's too late then, but you don't have to start then. You can begin priming the pump now so that when the perfect time comes, you can run. You know, the word says that works without faith is dead. So we can't have faith that something is going to manifest and we don't put any work behind it. So I am here to encourage women to say, what do we need to do today to start your process of moving in your purpose? It may not look like the end goal, and that's okay, but there's work to be done today. And so I'm here to just help walk with women who are wives and mothers to begin that reconnection process of walking out your purpose, so that ultimately you can live the life that you desire to live. You can live your why, and you can be all that you were called and created to be. I don't know if you saw my post earlier today, but we're talking about turning around. And I posted a picture of, or it was a what is that called? A boomerang of my 20-year-old. Yes, y'all, I have a 20-year-old. That girl will be 21 in February. In 6 short months, she will be 21 years old. I can't believe it. But I'm super excited because something popped up on my timeline this week. 2 years ago yesterday, I dropped her off at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida, which is 4 hours from where I live today in Jacksonville, Florida. And when I dropped her off, let me tell y'all. All right. So when we was leaving, I don't know why they did this, but somebody must have put a whole bunch of onions in the elevator, because my eyes just started tearing up for some reason as I was going in the down elevator. Why would they do that on moving day? I don't know, but there was something in the atmosphere. So the whole time we were moving baby girl, and mama was good. You know, you got to unpack. We got the comforter up. We got the clothes away. We got everything set up. I done walked around the building or the floor looking at all the decor that the RA put up. It was colorful. It was bright. You know, I'm like, she's going to be good here. I feel comfortable. I feel safe. And then I got in the elevator to say goodbye. As I was saying goodbye, that was my last time leaving the building. And those onions in the elevator just got me. And the tears just kind of popped out of nowhere. And you know, for me, that was just this culmination of 18 years of preparation that we spend 18 years as parents building up our children to go out into the world. And so we're always thinking, am I doing enough? I don't know about you. If you have children and you've ever wondered if you've done enough, put a number 1 in a comment for me. I want to know that I'm not alone. But I wonder, you know, as we were preparing to drop her off, was she prepared? Was she going to survive? Was she going to make it? How was she going to eat? Was she going to eat? What was she going to eat? Was she going to get her vegetables? Because, you know, mama like vegetables. Daddy cooked tonight, so I ain't got no vegetables. But, you know, I'm used to wanting the best, not just for my oldest, but for all of my babies, right? And not just my babies, but every child is my baby. Hey, sweetheart, that's what you get from me. If you're a teenager and below, you could be in your 20s and you're my sweetheart. Everybody has my heart, right? And so as I'm dropping my big baby off, I'm thinking, have I done enough? Is she going to survive? Is she going to be okay? That was like the ultimate symbolism of this butterfly for me. And those who know me know that I absolutely love this idea of a butterfly. I have 3 butterflies tattooed on my back that represent my 3 daughters. And my sword journal, we talk about the 4-step metamorphosis process, because the butterfly transition process is what we do as parents, is what I do as a coach, is what I do as an empowerer, is embodies who I am. And so I'm dropping my baby off, and I'm essentially putting her in this 4th phase. You know, it was like the first 18 years of her life were the first 3 phases of the metamorphosis process. And then we had gotten to the 4th phase where she was no longer this caterpillar. She was no longer wrapped up in the larvae phase. She was now a butterfly. She was out of the cocoon, and she had grown her legs. She had grown her arms. Her wings were coming. And, you know, she could see now. And that was the time where I had to let her go, so that she could fly, and I could see what that process was going to be like. Let me fast forward for you, because you may be thinking, where am I going with this? Well, on this morning, my baby girl, my 20-year-old, who is now a resident assistant in the same dorm, y'all, and that same dorm that put them onions in the elevator as I was trying to leave my baby behind. She's now a RA 2 floors below her old floor. And she's been spending the week preparing for a new batch of butterflies to come in. Come on now. I hope y'all not missing this. But what's happened is she's been preparing. She's got this bright yellow bumblebee theme. She's created this very decorative floor. And on this morning was her shift to greet incoming students, majority of freshman students, but some other students as well, potentially. But she was the greeter for them as a part of her role as a resident assistant. she sent that boomerang that you see on my page, and I had to post it because for me, it was a full circle moment. So I started out by talking about how some things are turning around, and I wanted to give you that example of how things do turn around. 2 years ago, this same week, I was dropping her off to fly and to hope that she was prepared and equipped enough to survive. And now we had a full circle moment where she is now in a position to welcome in other butterflies who are being launched in order to fly. That was such an amazing moment to see that and to be a part of this journey this last week as I was listening to her, watching her pictures and videos and the progress, because sometimes we don't understand that the place where we've once been is not always going to be that place. When I dropped her off in 2019, not knowing what was going to happen, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what that transition or what that process was going to look like, not knowing what was going to happen in transition over the next 2 years, I had to trust and have faith that it wasn't always going to be like that, that those feelings that I had, that heartburn, that heartache that I was having in that elevator, the tears came because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to come out of those next 2 years. And so it was a frightening experience. It was a release, but it was frightening at the same time, because when we don't know, when we can't see, when we don't have the full picture of what's yet to come, we tend to shrink back a little bit because we don't have a control any longer. And so although I was in that place then, it turned around. It turned around to the point that she's been successful. She's been doing some amazing things over the last 2 years. And now she is fulfilling the duties, the roles of responsibility that somebody did for her so long ago. The same way that baby girl can have that experience, you too can have that full circle experience in your own life. As long as you understand, like the song was playing earlier, that it's turning around, that the place that you're in, that doubt, that despair, that rejection, that emotional roller coaster that you may be on, that funny money, that marriage, that whatever it is, that workplace that you feel like you're drowning in, won't always be like that. If you can believe that and receive this word that it will shift and turn around at some point, then you can go forward knowing that it's turning around. And it starts today. What we're going through today is a part of the process. I talked about the 4-step metamorphosis process. We have to start somewhere. So we have to start and allow ourselves to go through this transition, to go through this process. I'm reminded of like nature and the moon and all of that stuff. You know, I don't want to get it wrong, but the light in the day, because something is circling something, right? Sun is circling the earth. Well, when you think about all of that, it's a process. In the same way that it's not always dark, because light will come, joy will come in the morning time. When you understand that it's the process, then you can maintain in the space that you're in. Right before I came on, I thought that I was going to talk about the story of Joseph and the things that happened to him. But right before I clicked the live button, I was then reminded of Esther. And Esther happens to be one of my favorite characters in the Bible. Anybody who knows me know that I love to study the biblical characters and the biblical parables, because I believe that there's a connection between either and or both to our lives today. So when we study the people of the Bible, we can find ourselves in some similarly situated situation. In that same way, when we study the parables of the Bible, then we can understand that what was happening then is probably still happening now, but with a different twist, with a different name, with a different title. And so what that looks like in the story of Esther is, and you got to read the book of Esther, but once you get into the text and you get into chapter 3 and 4, and you begin to realize that Esther was hiding her identity because Jews weren't welcome at the time. In order for her to have a seat at the table, she hid her identity. But there was a full circle moment, because the very thing that she was hiding and holding back is the very thing that saved her and her nation. Okay? So sometimes there's something going on around us that we don't understand. When her cousin Mordecai told her, I'm going to send you into this palace. I'm going to send you into this place, and I need you to follow these set of instructions. He said, I need you to follow, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm just going to send you. The only instruction you have is to not disclose this one thing, because I don't want you to kill the vibe. I don't want you to release the identity and lose your seat at the table. And so I need you to go and follow these instructions. Don't do this. And as you, Esther, go forward into the kingdom, there were going to be some things that come up that I'm going to use you for. And so he sends her in. He has a dispute with Haman, one of King Xerxes' right-hand men. And there was an edict, an order put out to kill all the Jews. Well, guess who would have been in that number? You got it, Esther. So what ended up happening is Esther said, I have been called for a time such as this, and I am going to do what I need to do to save my people. And so she went into a time of prayer and fasting for 3 days. She had her nation go into the same season of prayer and fasting as well. And then she went before the king, disclosed her issue, disclosed her true identity, and ended up saving a nation. She ended up having a full circle moment where the very thing that she couldn't release, the very thing that she was holding on to, the very thing that was kept private was the very thing that saved her. So how many of you know sometimes you have to just start here, not understanding why, not understanding what's happening, but knowing that if you stick it out, if you follow the course, if you stay persistent, if you are consistent, then at some point you will probably begin to manifest some great and mighty things. We started out by talking about manifestation that comes by visualizing, speaking, and writing. Well, when you do this process, then you begin to be like Esther when she was in that moment of I'm going to say a moment of prayer. When Mordecai said, I need you to go before the king, she was like, wait, whoa, no, I can't do that. She took a step back and said, wait a minute, let's do some reflection. Let's do some visualization. Let me think about what this is going to look like. Let me think about what this is going to feel like. She did that. And then she came back with a plan. And so sometimes when we're in this waiting season, when we're in this season of drought, when we're in this season of uncertainty, we have to take a step back and say, wait a minute, what is it that I have at my disposal and my fingertips that I can bring to the table to shift some things in the atmosphere? How can I create a change with who I already am? How can the situation I'm already in be transformed and shifted? Her whole nation of family members, relatives were going to be killed, which guess what? Included her. It turned around. We started off with the song, It's Turning Around. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what order has been pushed out. It doesn't matter how downtrodden it is. It doesn't matter how bleak it looks. If it was meant for you to come out on the other side, there's a plan to turn it around. It turned around. What she did to turn it was 3 days of prayer and fasting. I know I said it once, but I needed to say it again because I don't want anybody to miss it. So she had to go into a place of self-discovery. She had to go into a place of total submission. She had to go into a place of complete surrender in order to turn some things around. What are you waiting for to shift in your life? What is going on in your home, in your family, in your finances, in your community, in this nation that you want to see shifted? What have you done? When is the last time you put a plate down? When is the last time you picked up your word? When is the last time you went before the throne? When is the last time? We started out tonight with a moment of praise and worship simply because that is what we're being called to in this season. We want some things to shift. We want some things to turn. What are you willing to do for it to happen? What are you willing to do to see something be different and to see something feel different? What are you willing to do to manifest the dreams, the goals, the visions that have been placed on the inside of you? This is the opportunity for you to push through. This is the opportunity for you to press and persevere. This is the opportunity for you to shift and shake some things up. And I am encouraging you to go ahead and begin the process. Begin to get your mind focused on what it is that you want to see. Begin to connect yourself with the things that you want to manifest physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Get that on your mind and begin to do the work. When Esther got clear that she wanted to help her family, when she got clear that she was called for a greater purpose, when she got clear that this was her time for herself to be used, this was the season for her to walk in purpose, she got in a place and in a posture to make the shift that needed so that her life would have never been the same. And because Esther did what she did, that order to kill the Jews got turned around. And the very person who got the order put in place was the very person who ended up having an order turned on them. Talk about some things turning around, talking about full circle moments. Sometimes you've got to trust that the place that you're in it for a reason, that no matter how bleak it feels, no matter what it looks like. And I feel like I keep saying it because I feel like somebody needs it. I feel like so many of us are feeling stuck in the places that we're in, and we don't know how to shift. We don't know how to pull ourselves out of it. We don't know how to turn it around. But when we understand that the plan has already been laid, that there's a purpose for us, that it will turn around, and that all we have to do is put some work to that thing, all we have to do is put some faith behind that thing and begin that manifestation process, then we can allow the things to shift and turn in our favor. So I've shared with you a song. Go back and listen to it in your quiet time. It's turning around. Go back and listen to that when you have some time and just think about the things that you want to shift and turn around in your life. Think about the story I told you about my daughter dropping her off 2 years ago and having tears in my eyes as she was leaving me, and then coming back to this moment where I'm now saying, wow, when I dropped her off and I wasn't sure what it was going to look like, now she's preparing to receive other people in that very same position. Full circle moment. What full circle moment are you waiting to experience in your life? When you think about the book of Esther, and when you think about how a nation of people almost died, but the very person who set out to kill them is the very person who themselves died. He got hung on the very apparatus that he set out to hang Mordecai the Jew on. Sometimes we miss the point that what's meant for us is for us. That if there's a door that's meant to be open for you, and nobody can shut that door. If it is meant for you, it will come to pass. But you just have to wait the process. You've got to wait for your full circle moment to come into place. I don't know what it is, but it's turning around for you. And if you're saying, I hear that, but I don't feel it, I hear it, but I'm not sure I believe it, then I want you to connect with me. I want you to send me a message and let me know how we can connect. You can go ahead over to my website. You can find a phone number there, so you can text me. You can find my social media platforms. You're probably on one now, so just DM me, whatever the case may be. But find me, let's connect. I am here to help women who are wives and or mothers to reconnect with your purpose, and you don't have to do it alone. This is our season. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, that thing is turning around in your favor. There is divine favor being poured down in this month of August. This is the 8th month. The number 8 represents new beginnings. That's how I know it's turning around, because this is the season, this is the time where things are shifting. There's a shifting in the atmosphere, and I want to walk with women who are ready to manifest that shift. If you are looking for ways to walk out a manifestation process, then I want you to connect, because I have something coming forth in the next couple of months where I am going to help some things manifest in your life. And I want to just be a resource, because I have had so many manifestations in my year. I can't even get into it right now. I wish I could, but I can't. I just can't. But when the time comes, I will. But let's connect. You know how to find me. I am here for you. It's turning around. Peace.